for safety at school and homes. Let's learn about safety at school and homes. In our previous chapter, we have read of the important role played by the community members to reduce the risk and steps to be followed to prepare a community disaster management plan. Homes and schools form an important part of this community, and it is therefore necessary to have a safe home and school environment as students spend a reasonable amount of time in these places. Preventing homes and schools from natural and human-induced hazards is thus a matter of concern, one that every school and community must take seriously and strive continuously to achieve. There has been a large number of incidents, both natural and human-induced, in recent past where a large number of students have been affected. The Gujarat earthquake, 26 January 2001, killed 971 students and 31 teachers. 1,884 school buildings collapsed because of weak structures, and 300 students marching in the Republic Day procession in the narrow lanes of Bhuj were killed when buildings collapsed into the narrow street from both sides. The China earthquake, which killed more than 900 students of a high school on 12 May 2008, also reminds us of the importance of having safe schools, both structural and non-structural. Many precious lives could have been saved. The teachers and students carried out regular mock drills and had a school disaster management plan in place. Another incident that reflects the vulnerability of children in schools is the Kurabakunam fire tragedy that occurred in Lord Krishna School on 16th July 2004 in Tamil Nadu, killing 93 students, all below the age of 11 years. The impact of this accident could have been reduced to a considerable extent had the administration, teachers and students been better trained prior to the incident. The administration could have looked into the location of the kitchen in the school, placement of fire extinguishers, sand buckets, preparation of fire evacuation plan in the school, and generating awareness regarding fire safety amongst the teachers and students. Had teachers and students been properly sensitized, the precious lives of the 93 young students could have been saved by evacuating them to safe places. The incidents mentioned above reflects some major learning for the administrators, teachers and students to create a safe environment in schools. To create a safe and enabling environment, each one of us has a role to play, as most of the disaster don't come with a prior warning. Some of the basic activities that can be taken up in home and schools are as follows. Awareness generation on various hazards in school and homes. Preparation of a school disaster management plan. Ensuring safe location of schools which are away from busy roads, low-lying areas, railway tracks, hospitals, etc. Ensuring structural and non-structural safety in schools. Here is a story of a young school girl named Meena and her teacher Renu, who planned to volunteer and initiate the preparation of their school disaster management plan and also motivate the families in and around the school to prepare a family disaster management plan. It was general discussion in the social science class, and Miss Renu always spoke to the students about civic responsibilities. One day, Meena asked her teacher, "Ma'am, I read about the disaster which occurred in Bhuj and the one in Tamil Nadu, and realized that in each of the disaster, they have caused a huge loss to the country's economy. Whatever development is taking place immediately comes to an end. Isn't it possible to prevent these disasters from happening? Rahul, a student in the same class, started laughing and soon the others in the class started giggling, thinking what a silly question it was. Miss Renu then banged the desk and said, "Students, be quiet. There is nothing to laugh at." It is a very good question, and we need to think and answer the question that Meena has put. There was a sudden silence in the classroom. One of the boys stood up and said, "Ma'am, I feel it is a very important issue. We not only have to get prepared in school, but each one of us should take this knowledge back home and prepare a family or home disaster management plan so that our near and dear ones are safe." "Great idea," said Sheila, another student sitting in one corner of the classroom. "But then, ma'am, what is that we can do to have our schools and home safe?" With a pause, Miss Renu replied, "First, we need to be aware of various hazards and vulnerabilities that are present in and around us, and then think of the preparedness measures." The class dispersed, but the discussion continued among the children on the various vulnerable pockets in the school. Meena thought of loose electric wires hanging in the corridor, the cracked walls which had water seepage, and big glass pans which would break in case of strong winds. Rahul rightly pointed out that a couple of his friends were blind and needed special care, so that they were also moved to a safe place along with the others in case of disasters. Meena decided that once she reached home, she would look for such hazardous point in her home and neighborhood as well, and share the information with her father. After all, safety is important for everybody. To create a safe school environment, it is necessary to have a school and home disaster management plan in place so that the loss incurred during a disaster is reduced. Let us now try to analyze the necessary components of the school disaster management plan. Components of a school disaster management plan. Sensitization and awareness amongst teachers and school management. Before preparing the school disaster management plan, there is a need to carry out a sensitization program with the key people like the principal, vice principal, the school management and administrative staff, teachers and head students so that the need and the importance of the plan is felt by everybody. Formation of the Disaster Management Committee. The members of this committee will have the overall responsibility in guiding and developing the plan for the school and also carrying out regular mock drills in school. This committee should be chaired preferably by the principal of the school, and members should include other active members of the school like teachers, head boys or girls, representatives from the Parent-Teacher Association, local administration, representatives from health department, NGOs, civil defense, market trader association, some volunteers from NCC, NSS, Scouts and Guides, Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, etc. Hazard identification and assessment. It is important that the school know the hazard, structural and non-structural, that they are prone to. School should identify the structural hazards that they are likely to be affected with weak concrete structures as well as non-structural hazards like location of cupboards, lights and other fixtures in the schools, trophies, chemicals stored in the school laboratories, etc. Inventory of resources, human and material. Human and material resources play a very important role in effectively responding to a disaster. The resources available in the school should be tabbed and listed out, mentioning their location and contact details. Human resources include people trained in first aid, search and rescue, firefighting, etc. Teachers, administrative staff, and senior students should be trained in these fields. Material resources include ladders, ropes, fire extinguishers, stretchers, first aid box, communication system, etc. that are available in the school. Resources available in close proximity of the school like hospitals, primary health centers, clinic, dispensaries, police station, etc. can also be listed so that in case of any emergency, they can be contacted immediately. Mapping. A mapping exercise needs to be carried out as this would help the younger students and other staff members to be aware of the exit routes and the location of the resources available. There are 4 different types of maps to cater to different requirements. Social map. This map details the physical location of the school. It demarcates the number of classrooms in the school, Pakka RCC tiled, the staff rooms in the school, the laboratories in the school, physics, chemistry, biology, home science, etc. The school canteen and any prominent landmark in the school, the playgrounds and open spaces within the school premises. Resource map. All the resources identified and listed, human and material, need to be mapped in this so that they can be easily located in case of a disaster. Vulnerability map. This map shows the vulnerable locations present in the school building. Number of children in each class, male, female, physically challenged, sick and ailing, etc. to be demarcated in the map of each classroom. Location of the vulnerable classrooms in the school. Rooms near the school canteen, laboratories, classrooms which have weak structures, laboratories, canteen, etc. Identification of the main electric switchboard area in the school. Identification of low-lying areas in the school. Safe place and evacuation chart of the school. In the map, we need to identify the safe places where the children and staff members can take shelter. For an evacuation route chart of the school to be in place, there is a need to show the entire staircase, doors and windows, open spaces, etc. The exits should be clearly demarcated by arrows in the map in case of a fire or earthquake. The maps drawn should be located in various strategic points. There is also a need to develop an alternative exit route in case the existing one fails. Formation and training of disaster management teams, DMTs. Awareness generation team. The member of this group should be creative and have an inclination for art and culture. This team will have to generate awareness on the various hazards that our school is prone to in pre, during, and post-disaster scenario. The group can use print and electronic media for generating awareness. Posters, folk songs and dance, films, etc. can be used in the school. Warning and information dissemination team. The school can have a school control room and students from class 8 to 12 can manage the control room. Students trained in the operation of VHF sets or members of the HAM club shall be a part of this team. The school needs to have sirens, bells, flags, computer and internet, VHF or ham sets, etc. for smooth functioning. First aid team. This team will be responsible for providing first aid in case of any casualty in the school. Since this is a skilled task to be carried out in case of an emergency, there is a need to provide them training. Training on this can be provided by Civil Defense, Fire Service, St. John's Brigade, Red Cross, etc. Search and Rescue Team. The team is responsible to carry out search and rescue in case there is any emergency within the school premises. Sport teachers along with some senior students, both boys and girls, can be a part of the team. Since the teams formed by the school are expected to carry out skilled jobs like first aid, search and rescue, e-safety, etc., there is therefore a need to train the members with the help of local resource persons like Fire Service Department, Civil Defense, Police, Red Cross or St. John's Ambulance, etc. Mock drills. Mock drills are conducted to test the elements of the disaster management plan prepared by the school. The school, with guidance and support from the School Disaster Management Committee, is expected to respond to a built-in scenario which they are likely to face. These frequent simulation drills will help the school to respond effectively at the time of crisis. Drop, cover and hold is a simulation exercise carried out in areas prone to earthquakes. After discussing the plan with students and teachers, a mock exercise can be carried out in the school by creating a scenario and responding to it as effectively as possible. Review, approval and updation of the plan. Just preparing the plan and carrying out mock drills is not sufficient. There is a need to review the plan prepared so that gaps identified may be resolved. Once the plan is prepared, the Disaster Management Committee of the school should approve the plan and share it with officials present at the district level like the district magistrate or the district education officer. Now that we are aware of various components of a school disaster management plan, as responsible students and teachers, it is our responsibility to take this initiative beyond the school boundaries to our home and community. It is to be noted here that the components of a school disaster management plan, as shared above, can be followed for preparing a plan for homes. Preparation of a family disaster kit. Every family should have disaster supply kit in their home. The kit will help you and your family during a disaster. In a cyclone or earthquake, for example, you might be without electricity and the water supply may be polluted. In a strong windstorm or flood, you may not be able to leave your house for a few days. In times like this, you will need to rely on yourself. Your disaster supply kit will make it easier. Remember, your family will probably never need to use your disaster supply kit, but it's always better to be prepared. A scenario at a meeting of the Resident Welfare Association of Greenwood Apartments, New Delhi. Greenwood's Apartments, New Delhi, India has been the home to over 50 families since 1960. This is the third generation of the families that live there now. There are 5 residents who are over 80 and have known all the problems of the buildings and how to solve them. The residents discovered a crack in the lift wall after the earthquake in June 2007. The back of the lift wall developed a vertical crack from the ground floor to the 6th floor. An emergency meeting of the Residents Association was called on Sunday at 11 a.m. to discuss safety measures. At 11:30 a.m., the secretary, president and the treasurer of the association come and 7 members arrive. The meeting is adjourned and reconvened and the proceeding starts. Thank you all for coming. As you know, we have to take urgent measures to reinforce this building so that further damage does not happen. The secretary has discussed with architects and has a plan for retrofitting which will cost each of us at least 20,000 rupees. So please understand what is being planned. The plan is simple. We have to reinforce the lift walls with metal bands on every alternative floor and run a tight band around the floors. Since the building is on stilts, we will have to make a few more columns between the existing ones and build a wall. The architect feels that the present design is not earthquake proof. The work will take at least 6 months after the money has been deposited. Well, I have been here for the last 28 years and there have been several earthquakes. Nothing great has got damaged. What is the anxiety now? Sir, the last 28 years has weakened the building and so now we need to reinforce it to last longer. Yet, I do not agree with this approach to retrofitting. We must rebuild the base structure and cover all the garages. My suggestion is to immediately repair the wall of the lift and find better alternate solution. Can you help with this, Sushant? No, sorry, I am very busy and leaving for the USA. You must find another person for the committee. I will certainly see if the suggestions are good or not. Well, I can help, but the cost is too much. We have to find a cheaper alternative. I am told that if we have good exit options, we can all evacuate the building faster and damage can be reduced. Is that not better than spending so much on retrofitting? That too has been planned, but to prevent the building from damage or weakening, we have to take some measures as it is quite old. Well, I live here all day and I am not able to run down in an emergency. How should I really evacuate the building? You have never had a mock drill and I have no idea what to do. Yes, I agree. Can the ladies group here give me a time and day when they will all be available and we can have a mock drill with only women's and children? My request is that when you feel earthquakes, please do not panic. There is enough time for you to leave the apartments and come down. However, please keep few valuable in the house and your papers like voter ID, passport and bank documents in a place which is accessible place which you can take with you. We must form an evacuation team which knows where the wheelchair is, which homes to evacuate elder people from, and the young boys and girls must help. Yes, this will be done on priority. But what do you say about the retrofitting? I cannot say anything. It is costly. So please tell us more and ask the architect to come and explain his or her plans. I still think nothing will happen. You are all very scared. I promise you this. I hope you agree that we must do the repair of the wall at least and then think about the rest of the building. I will like to oversee the expenses and help to buy the materials of good quality. Please put me on the committee. Thank you. And Mrs. Joshi will organize the mock drill for evacuation and put up the notice. Yes, This one time, next time, find someone else. Thank you. That is all in this lesson. Always be prepared to face natural disaster. Help your neighbors and citizens at the time of crisis. Keep learning.